Mhm.
Are you hearing him, Rachel? Because I'm not.
I do. I hear Traven.
Okay.
I hear you through his mic, Shannon, we're going to start for real this time.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk All the Things with Rachel and Shannon. I'm Shannon Penrod and look who's here.
Hi. I'm Rachael Bird.
And where are you this time?
That's a great question. I think this needs to now be where in the world is Rachael Bird, San Diego?
Yes.
I don't know if that's right. I am in Southern Orange County at my mom's house. I'm sorry I hear birds. Last time it was a crow. Today it's like 7 parakeets. But I am at my mom's house down in Southern Orange County, and can you see me?
Yes.
Orange, because it's code orange. You guys, it's August, but it's code orange. Do you know what that means? Everything everywhere is Halloween now. So every store, I went to TJ Maxx, Walmart, Target, Home Goods, and all the Halloween stuff. It is very Halloweeny everywhere, and it's code orange. So I decided I needed to be code orange today, Shannon.
I love it. And can I tell you, I don't know if you can see me, but I'm wearing pink because
What pink?
I got pink on because you went to the Barbie movie the other day and you got all dressed up. I'll let you talk about that. And I went to the Barbie movie and we did not get all dressed up. And
that's so funny to me because everybody in our theater was in pink. Every man had a pink shirt on or was dressed Barbie or Kenny, and all the women were in pink. There was a few kids, not that many. Everybody. I had pink glittery shoes, pink striped things. I had a pink leopard dress, pink lipstick, pink earrings. I was very pink.
You looked fabulous. I saw the pictures. But my family did not dress up, and we saw it, I mean, like the week after it came out, and there were like 2 women who were all dressed up as Barbie, and everybody else just was kind of looking at them. But so I wore pink for you today to make up for the fact that I did not participate in the pink for Barbie.
Yay.
We got a lot that we're going to talk about today, lots that we're going to delve into, but you want to tell us why you are in the room that you're in?
I'm in the kitchen. I didn't do a video this week, so we decided we're going to do a little live segment of me cooking something. I'm going to walk over right now because we're going to do it quick. We're going to cook it while I'm here. And, hello, in my mom's kitchen. And we are going to make a lemon blueberry Dutch baby, but it's gluten-free, dairy-free. So I am, Traven, going to turn around the camera really quick.
Okay, so we're going to watch her do this. Stay tuned.
Okay, can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a blender. This is my blender. I have 4 eggs. I have half a cup of almond milk. You can use any kind of milk or non-dairy milk. I have half a cup of Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 flour. I have 3 tablespoons of sugar. I have 2 melted tablespoons of Earth Balance butter. I have 1 teaspoon. My secret is I always put a little bit more, so that's 1 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. I have a pinch or about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then I have the zest of 1 lemon. And what we're going to do, I'm going to go slow here. We're just going to put down the line everything in the blender. And I'm one-handed it, guys. We're going to put everything in the blender, okay? And as we move down the blender, as we put all the ingredients in here, Shannon, if you have questions as I'm doing this, you can let me know. But what we're going to do is we are just going to blend all of this stuff up. And then we're going to go, I have on the stove right now, I'm actually going to walk over and I'm going to add the blueberries really quick. We're going to take in a skillet, in a skillet that we can add to the oven. So an oven-safe skillet.
So like my big cast iron skillet is perfect for this.
Yes. So I've just melted some butter, and I'm going to take enough blueberries to kind of cover the bottom here.
Okay.
I'm going to shake it around a little, okay? I'm going to let those sit. I'm going to walk over slowly. I'm sorry. Okay, wait.
You're fine.
We have dishes. It's a real cooking show. Okay, so we're going to put this on the, you know how like it's always so clean when someone does, like they don't have dishes? And then I found out some of the influencers have dishwashers. No, I don't. I do. Well, my mom, she's my sous chef. Okay, we're going to turn the blender on for a quick second. Sorry, we're going to blend it. Let's do a big blend. Sorry, it's loud if there's anybody. Sensory wise. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time. I'm so sorry for the loud noise.
It's okay.
All right, so now we're going to walk this over. We've got our blueberries. We've got our blueberries in the pan.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing this one-handed. Okay, so now what we're going to do, don't you love that I'm just throwing stuff? So now we're just going to pour this blend on, let's see, there we go. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so now that we poured that on there, what we're going to do, and I'm so sorry I'm doing this one-handed, guys. I got to go get I missed something. Oh, zoomy. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take this and we are going to go put this into a 450-degree oven.
Okay.
And I'm so sorry about the camera angle,
No,
friends.
it's okay, but don't spill because I know you're one-handed.
Okay.
That's a heavy pan.
So it's a heavy pan. So we're going to put this in for 15 minutes exactly at 450 degrees. Hi, can you see me there?
Yes, we can.
At 450 degrees. It's so funny. The camera angle is really weird.
So that's a pretty hot oven and only 15 minutes. What a great thing.
And you are not going to, I'm going to turn myself back around. Let's see. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes and we're going to talk, and when the timer is done, we will show you what it looked like.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
I do. I have a bunch of questions. How much flour and how much sugar was it again?
3 tablespoons of sugar.
Okay.
And half a cup of flour.
Which is not that much flour when you stop and think about how big that thing ends up being. And then all the little dishes that you had that you were so beautiful, are those your mom's or yours? I'm always in awe of people who have
Those are my mom's. I have them too.
Okay.
So can I show you what my mom has? So normally, I'm going to turn the camera around.
Okay.
So she has this little thing that most of these little bowls usually are on. And this, we have little bowls, little spoons, all the things that we might want to use. Sorry, the camera is such a weird angle. All these little things that we might want to, these are all the ones that I just used.
Yeah.
But these all sit here because we use these when we cook.
I love that. Yeah. Just today, because I made a little cup when I was learning how to do pottery, and it's Jim's favorite thing. He puts salsa in it, he puts spice in it, and I broke it today. So I was like, I'm just gonna go make myself a bunch of the little cups. And then I saw yours, and I was going to make them all colors, but I loved how they were all white and it showed off the ingredients. I love that. It's
kind of fun. She has some that are different colors, but it's kind of fun just to have. I'm going to try to sit somewhere while we wait for this thing to cook. And so if it's funky, that happens. That's real life.
Okay. Well, so this makes a Dutch baby, and so that's
what's going to happen is it's going to puff up. Like some people call them a Dutch pancake, some people call them a German pancake, but it's going to puff up. Now, it is gluten-free flour that I use, so it's not going to puff up as much as we thought.
Okay.
Like if you used a gluten flour. Now, this recipe is on my Small Kitchen Big Flavor website on Instagram. It is on there already. You can go on there. I just put the recipe on yesterday, so you can view it there. It actually shows what the measurements are. It shows all of that fun stuff, and you'll be able to see it that way if needed.
Okay. But so you would eat this, I sort of think of it like how you'd eat coffee cake, right?
No, so this is more like a pancake. I actually, when it comes out, I drizzle a little bit of butter on it. You just put a little bit of butter because it just kind of gives it a little bit of moisture. Then I put a little bit of powdered sugar and a little bit of lemon. You can put some maple syrup on it if you want.
But it's you cut it like a pie, though, right? You don't eat.
Yeah, but that's just because of what it's like one ginormous pancake, like a puffy pancake, basically.
But you don't eat the whole thing. You serve it like in slivers.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
We had one of those and fed my whole family a 4. The other day for breakfast.
Awesome. What a great breakfast. Because you could make it all, stick it in the oven, and be doing other things for 15 minutes instead of standing over the stove.
And you don't open that oven. Do not open that oven.
Now, did you preheat?
I did. Preheated 450-degree oven.
All right. Fantastico. Okay. And it's got if you think about it, it's got your eggs. It's got a little bit of flour in it. and it's got your fruit in it. So it is a
Only 3
complete
tablespoons
breakfast.
of sugar. That's not a lot of sugar.
It isn't a lot of sugar. It's not even
Yeah.
a lot of flour, which is a really, cool thing. Okay, so while that's cooking, let's talk some more about Code Orange, because
Okay.
you were the one who turned me on to this and said, Shannon, it's Code Orange. And I was like, you said this after 4th of July. And I went, what the heck are you talking about?
What does that even mean, Rachel? Because,
Yes.
me and my crazy, right?
But you have said that, it's back to school time, and then you have a whole thing that you say, I don't want to say, I want you to say how you feel it all goes.
So yes, right. Yes, because it's back to school, which then means it's Halloween, which then means it's Thanksgiving, which then means it's Christmas. So basically I just need to say Happy New Year to you right now. Because,
Yes.
it's August, but it might as well be January, which then, so I was thinking about this because, there's the Code Orange and people are like, it's too early. When I posted something for Christmas in July, people were like, oh gosh, I can't believe you're too early. Listen, if you want to decorate for Easter today, do it. If it brings you joy, decorate. Just like I said about last month, being in a pool in the bathing suit, do it.
Yeah.
If you want to decorate for Christmas today, go for it. When I was in other countries, they started decorating for Halloween because they don't have they started decorating for Christmas as soon as Halloween was over because they don't have Thanksgiving.
Right.
We're the only country that has Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so all these other countries start decorating for Christmas at the beginning of November, and nobody says, oh, it's too early. For me, Christmas is joy. Christmas makes me happy. It gives me all the feels. I listen to Christmas music all year round. I get excited for Christmas in July when I get to decorate and do things like that. I watch Christmas movies all year round. If you want to decorate for Easter today, go for it. So yes, Code Orange, people are like, it's too early, but you know what? Go for it, right?
Well, you know what? Somebody said something to me a couple of years ago that really stuck with me. They said, when you stop and think about it, you only get about 4 Halloweens with your child where your child is participating in Halloween the way we think about it. And I thought, I don't even think we get that with kids on the spectrum. But their point was there's a finite number of Halloweens you get. There's a finite number of Halloweens I get. There's a finite number of Halloweens you get to enjoy with your child. When I think about my mom got 74 Christmases. Now that seems like a lot. It's not. In the realm of things, and my dad only got 56 Christmases. And so why are we being stingy with ourselves?
Yep.
And why are we? My problem is that I used to always look at it as the treadmill. Oh no, it's back to school. That means that we're on the treadmill all the way to January 1st. And that's exactly how I felt. It was like this obligation thing. But now I'm saying to myself in the more recent years, especially since my mom died, I was like, you got to stop and smell those poinsettias, because there are a finite number, and you have seasons in your life when you're the kid and the holiday gets made for you. Then maybe you're cynical for a while, but then you become the parent and you're making the holiday for your family.
Right.
But then another season comes where sometimes people are alone. Enjoy what you have when you have it, is my motto.
Agree. So, I completely agree.
So here you are.
That's why I say if you want to, a Code Orange, right? I figured Halloween, of course, I have to have my mini ears, Halloween mini ears, orange. Listen, I dressed for Christmas last month. I dress for Christmas all the time. If people have a problem with it, too bad. It's okay. We have favorite things, we have least favorite things, right?
Well, and I put out a post in July, and because I was all excited because it was Christmas in July on the Hallmark Channel, and I said to people, I know there are going to be people who are like, Christmas in July, but I said you need to remember that there are a lot of us. Right now, I'm working on the toy guide, so my brain is very much on Christmas toys, and anybody who does a magazine or anything like that, they were thinking of Christmas in May.
Oh yeah, and they think of Christmas as soon as it's done. They planned and got their stuff out, and they're already planning the next year.
Oh yes, and here, right now we're preparing for the 2nd annual All Ghouls Gala, and we have been for the last 2 months. So we've already been Code
Code Orange.
for quite a while because
Yeah.
our brains are totally on Halloween and Christmas right now. So I'd love to put it a little on Thanksgiving. But you know, I can think about Thanksgiving anytime. Every once in a while, I get in the mood to just like roast a turkey,
Yeah.
and do mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes and things like that because those are good things, and I sort of love that. They're kind of it's hard to find whole turkeys that aren't $1 million when it's not
Well,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, when it's not Thanksgiving, and even to find, I mean, when you want to make your sweet potatoes and you want to make your stuffing and you want whatever it is that you make, you know, it's harder to do. I started doing stuffing with gluten-free bread because I couldn't find stuffing during the year, and I like to add all the little things to it. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, when Thanksgiving comes around, we'll have to compare what gluten-free stuffing you do when you
yeah.
do have that, because there's a few.
Well, and I'd like to compare what everybody has different sides. We were talking about this. A friend of mine went to England. Their family's in England, and they said that in England they put cranberry in their stuffing or their dressing, and they put this, and they were like, it was so weird. We don't do that in the States. And I was like, well, what do you guys have? Like, what are the things you have to have that make you
Yes.
know that it's Thanksgiving? Some people like my grandma used to make mashed potatoes with mustard and spinach in it, which sounds disgusting to people, but it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, some people put garlic in their mashed potatoes. It's like, no, we put this in our mashed potatoes. No, you just do potatoes like this.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you put gravy on your potatoes? What's your gravy? Do you do canned or fresh cranberry? Like, do you do Jello? Do you not? Do you do you do pumpkin pie, pecan pie, and apple pie? What do you do? So maybe that's stuff we can discuss.
Absolutely.
And if you guys that are watching have things that you love that are your traditions for Thanksgiving, put it in the comments. And then when we get to it in a month or two, because maybe it'll be code feathers next month. I don't know what's code turkey. Then maybe we can talk about the things that you guys like, because we love your input and want to know. And if there's something you want me to cook, or you're like, oh wait, gluten-free dressing or stuffing, how do you do that? I want to know. Let me know. Even if it's not gluten-free, I usually take things and make them gluten-free. So just let me know. I'd love to help and do a recipe with you.
Well, because right now it really is back to school. In fact, some of our viewers have already started classes last week. I can't believe how early people go back. And a lot of people are starting next week, and the next 2 weeks, people are going back to school. So it's back to school time. And that means a lot of things to a lot of different people. And there are very specific traditions that I start when it's back to school time. And I'd love to hear from you, even though, I mean, I guess technically my son's still in school, he's in college, but, he won't let me take him back to school shopping anymore. But, there are things that this time of year that I do, like, for instance, I stock up on office supplies. I go to those back to school sales and I buy everything that we need while it's on sale, because it's like a fifth of it's like Black Friday for office supplies. Yeah. What are some things that you do during this time of year, Rachel?
Well, the one thing that we did as a family for Coby and my family in Hawaii, everybody did it. My family that was from Hawaii that now is in Ohio, we do something called a waffle dinner. The first night of school is waffle dinner, no matter what. So we always, and no matter where we were, when it was waffle dinner. And Coby just said to me the other day, I kind of miss not having waffle dinner. I said, well, why don't we do waffle dinner? When it's school time for people. It was our thing. And you make waffles for dinner, and you make the things to go with it. In Hawaii, it's Portuguese sausage, or here it's bacon. And that was tradition. Every first day of school was waffle dinner. And he said, I remember you used to write me a note, and it would say waffle dinner tonight. Because he'd wake up and I would write him little notes on he had a table setting and where his stuff for school was. And he remembers, or a whiteboard. And he said, I remember getting the note saying it was waffle dinner. On the other side of it, the last day of school, we did backwards dinner, where you eat ice cream and eat the dessert first. We usually don't. We usually had dinner, but didn't ever get to it, because you eat ice cream. It's like ice cream sundae. So no matter what, first day of school was waffle dinner, last day of school was backwards dinner. It was great. I don't know what other things that I do that we do traditionally. I think waffle dinner for sure. What are the things besides office supplies that you would do?
Well, the big thing for me that I'm absolutely adamant about, and I always tell people, I think this is a really good thing to do, is that we make a big deal about on the first day of school, you're wearing brand new shoes and you're wearing a brand new outfit that you help pick out. And listen, there were a couple of years where I was like sweating it and had to take money from the food budget to make sure that he had a new pair of shoes, because shoes can be expensive. But
Yeah.
it's so important to me. And my husband sometimes would say to me, I don't really understand why this is such a big deal. And we take the pictures and everything. But I said, I'm trying to make it feel special, because the first day of school you should feel sparkly. And like, this is a thing to remember, and it's special, and we're starting a new journey. I don't want anybody to start that day without feeling special. And I used to teach, and it was so important to me that all of my students felt special on the first day, and that we had some sort of activity that made them feel special. So that,
Yeah.
and then the thing that we would do, because, we were living up in Santa Clarita when he was in regular school, we always went to Mount Asia after, which is like a big arcade, you guys, that has bumper cars and things, and, where you drive and all the games. It was always, we're going to go to Mount Asia after we pick you up from school, and you go right to Mount Asia, to sort of bookend it, that it's special, that it's unlike any other day of the year. It's a new beginning, because I always wanted us to start off on the best possible foot that we could. So that was me. What else can you think of?
That's kind of it. We kind of just, it was more mellow for Coby because we needed, that was a lot, the transition to new school. Oh,
Is
ding,
it time?
did you hear the ding?
I heard the ding. It's time to see what we made.
Okay, I'm going to turn us around.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready?
Look at that. It did puff up.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off.
Now, is it automatically done at 15, or do you check it to see if it's
automatically done at 15?
Okay.
And it's going to be really hot, so whatever you do.
Look at that. It's gorgeous.
Okay. Can you hear? I don't know if you can hear
bubbling.
it. So, see the bubbles?
Yes, it's bubbling.
That's it. What I like to do right here in this moment, excuse my reach, is to take a little bit of that Earth Balance butter and just put it on top.
Okay.
Okay, just a little. I drizzle it if I have leftover melted. And then what I like to do is take a little bit of lemon, because it was a lemon. We've got that lemon zest in there, just a little bit of lemon on top.
Wow.
And then the last thing, sorry, you guys, this camera, it's weird. It's like a weird angle. You really don't have
to apologize. It's not that weird.
Okay, there we go. And then you just take a little bit of
powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar, and just drizzle that over. And then that's it, guys.
It's pretty.
Isn't it pretty?
And so do you need to let it sit for a minute before you cut it, or you just cut it?
I'm actually going to cut a piece.
Okay.
I thought that I had, here, I'm just going to use the lemon plate. Okay, so what we're going to do, let me do it. We're going to cut it. You can let it sit if you want, but you don't have to.
Okay.
I'm just going to pull that out. Can you see it? Okay.
I can. We can see it perfectly.
Okay, and then you're just going to pull it out and see, it's kind of like a, can you see that consistency?
Very much like a pancake. Yep. It's okay. Pretty.
Your piece.
Wonderful.
But look, you can see.
And so you eat that with a fork.
In the pot. I eat that with a fork. Yes. And see how it's more like a. You see that?
It looks like a pie.
Sorry, it's.
But it's more of a. It's more of a pancake. I get it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'll bet it's tasty as all get out. Yay! Good job.
Super tasty. So that is the Dutch baby. And like I said, you can go on to Small Kitchen Big Flavor on Instagram, and you can look and see the recipe. I think I named it gluten-free, dairy-free, Dutch baby, blueberry lemon something. I don't remember.
Blueberry lemon Dutch baby, I think is what it was called.
Yes,
very cool. I love it.
Blueberry Dutch baby.
There we go. And a great breakfast. And I would imagine it's is this something you could make and freeze and then reheat?
I think you could. You could even make it and just reheat it. I think you could do it. I mean, it didn't last. We ate the whole thing. I almost made a second one last time, and then I thought, maybe I should do that for the show. So we waited because we had just enough ingredients. What's great is just, for me, that's everything. I always have blueberries. I always have lemon in the house because I use lemons for everything, and I always have blueberries and strawberries. And so it's every ingredient that I always have: the flour, the sugar, everything for me. And it's 4 eggs isn't that. Oh, and I was going to say one other thing about the eggs. I don't know if you do this, Shannon, but eggs are actually, when we bake with eggs and cook with eggs, it's better for them to be room temperature or to be left out, because it mixes better. When they're cold, it doesn't mix as easy. But when they are room temperature or at least warmed up and not cold, they're not meant to go into the icebox or the refrigerator. Back in the day, they got the egg straight from the chicken's butt. Like
Right.
literally, they got the egg and they got it from they went and took it from their yard. What do they call it? Not harvesting, but they would go collect the eggs, and then they would go use the eggs, and the eggs would sit in a basket on the counter. They never went into an icebox or a refrigerator.
Yeah.
So it's better to leave them out. They actually mix in when you're baking, when you're cooking. That's why some recipes, like for cookies and bread, say, room temperature eggs or even butter.
But that means,
butter never went into the
just to
icebox either.
clarify, that doesn't mean we're not putting them on the basket and keeping them there anymore. What they're saying is you take them out of the refrigerator ahead of time. It's all good. It's all good.
I just did a somersault.
And we saw a wonderful colander. It was all good. But you're saying to take them out earlier and let them get to room temperature, not leave your eggs out all the time.
I cooked it whatever time it is, wink, wink on TV, here on our podcast. But I took them out about 2 hours, 2.5 hours before.
Okay, that's a while before. Okay, fantastic. I know they always say that. Here's my problem. I have a failure to plan, and I have the attention span of less than cottage cheese. So I have taken eggs out before and said, I'm going to make that. And then I forget that I said that I was going to make that, and I never make the thing. If I bake, it's really one of those things where I go, I want to bake something and I need to bake it right then. So I'm not so good there. But I appreciate the sentiment that they will mix better. That will help me to want to be better. But I do have the attention span of 3 less than cottage cheese. And that might be like really unkind to the cottage cheese. So anyway, I want to go back to the back to school in the fall thing, because for us, our kids are older and it's changed a little bit. And I want to talk about that a little bit, about what that's like for our kids, but also what it's like, our experience of that. Because as much as I feel the relief of we are not back to school like in the high school mode, there is, because I was a former teacher too, there is a part of me that misses all that wonderful gear up to the fall back to school stuff. And I don't know if I'm the only one. Do you
I remember as a kid, I always did. It was always the time to go get new clothes and new shoes, like you said. And I would then do like a fashion show for my mom. And I'd be like, this is everything that I got. And here's my new backpack. And here's my new Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper, or whatever it was.
Yes.
All the new pencils, all the new things. And I remember wearing that new outfit to school on the first day. Coby was never, he would have just worn his normal shoes. He didn't care about any of that. It wasn't something that was, school was always really hard for him. So it wasn't like an exciting thing to go back to school.
Yeah.
That was always a little bit more of a stress, because our kids, they transition from being in school and then coming home in whatever program or whatever you do or whatever you've done for the summer. And then it's a new transition to getting up earlier, and whether your kiddo, does well with that schedule change or does well with getting up every morning. School was so traumatic for Coby. It was never really a great thing. That's why the waffle dinner, he was like, I remember that. It made me happy that was a good memory of starting school. Coby never really had friends in school. So it wasn't like he got to miss his friends over the summer and got to see them. And, so that was really hard for him.
And I want to be clear that Jem wasn't excited either. But that's why, just like you were saying, you did the waffle dinner to anchor something positive. That's why, and he didn't care about new shoes either. But I wanted to put a memory in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's why when he said the other day, oh man, waffle dinner, and I remember the notes that you left me, and I was like, oh, you remembered that. Okay, great.
Yeah. So you're going to make waffle dinner now?
I am. I told him we would this year. So I figure after Labor Day, we'll do it. I know a lot of people are already back in school, but we always went to school, right after Labor Day. So that's kind of tradition for us.
Us too. And then in terms of Halloween, I think it's sad that I remember a couple of years, the year before, the Halloween before the pandemic, my son had a bunch of friends come over for a Halloween party. And and I didn't think they were going to go trick or treating, but there was a moment where a group of them said, "Hey, let's go trick or treating to a couple of houses." And I had so much candy, they didn't need it, but they wanted to go trick or treating. And they were 16-year-old boys, and they went to a couple of houses in our neighborhood, and they got yelled at. And I just thought
Kobe got yelled at 11 because he was 6'4" already at 11. And that's when he was just able to say trick or treat because it was so hard. So he was actually told when he was, I think, he could tell you, 10 or 11, they were like, "No, you're too old to trick or treat." And he was like,
it's so
trick or
rude.
treat?
It's so rude. I
It
wish that
was
we weren't.
devastating.
I wish that we weren't that way about that and be so ageist about it.
Isn't
But
there a new thing that's like teal pumpkins? I know it's food allergy, but there was another thing a couple years ago that it was like someone on the spectrum or with special needs, they had a certain color pumpkin. I don't know. I don't.
well, we have a teal pumpkin that sits outside our house to say to people that we're a friendly house, that you can come to our house, and we're not going to do that. That's the way the teal pumpkin worked for us. I don't know how it worked for other people. And it also means that you're going to have items that you give out that aren't necessarily candy, that we always give out pencils, and I always try to score like Halloween pencils and stuff. And last year I just didn't have it together, and so I just bought like plain yellow pencils, and the kids in our neighborhood were so excited. I remember the
It's so
one
funny.
kid who came in, he got the pencil, and I say, "You can take candy or you can take pencil." And he ran down my driveway and he said to his mom, "Mom, I got a pencil." Like it was the biggest, most wonderful thing.
I
And
love that.
so, and I went, "Oh my goodness, why are these kids so excited about the pencils?" And it's because our school has a shortage of them, which is really depressing. And I've made arrangements to give them, I still haven't given them, it's practically next Halloween, but I've made arrangements to give them some pencils for this school year. But
Fun.
I think that's important. But there does come a time when your kids won't be welcome other places to go trick or treating. And my son, and I think your son, they're well past it. So how has it changed for you guys? How do you commemorate the holiday now? What do you guys do? Anything in particular?
I mean, I dress up all year round, so we go to the Ogles Gala.
Yes, the weekend before.
The weekend before.
Yeah.
It used to be that we went to Halloween, to Disneyland on Halloween, but now, in the afternoon they're closed, or in the evening they're closed because they do their very scary, not so scary Disney Halloween. I think this year's the Oogie Boogie Bash. I don't know, they change it. It's Mickey's Not So Scary and Oogie Boogie. But to be honest, Kobe and I think, got dressed up and went out to dinner last time. One year it was Halloween, and he was going to be presenting an award to David Shore and the Good Doctor. And so we were doing a tuxedo fitting for him for the event. And I remember we were both full in costume. I don't remember what I was, but he was I was a witch or something, but he was full in costume with the wig, and we walked in and had to take off his costume so we could do it. Was the only day that they could do the fitting for the tux.
That's funny.
And it was like Nordstrom's, and they were like kind of looking at us like, "What are you crazy?" But then we went into a bookstore, and Kobe had a blast. It was the Americana. And so
I love that.
we usually just get dressed and go to dinner. If someone's doing something, I think we should all just get a group of us together and go trick or treating, because I don't care. If
I don't care
if
either.
someone came, if adults came to my door and trick or treated, I'd be like, "Here, have fun. Like, go do it."
Yes, I'm like, have a pencil. The last couple of Halloweens, I've had to spend it completely alone because my husband works or is doing a play. And Jem, it was the biggest night because he was working as a scare actor at the Halloween Horror Nights. So
Right.
this year he won't be doing that. It'll be interesting to see if he has plans or what he's doing. But I'm available on Halloween. So
Well, you and I, we go do something.
okay, all right. And Jim might be available too. I don't know. We'll see what he has in store. So one of the things that we have talked about on a regular basis, and we decided, Trayvon was like, "You got to do a segment about this," is that we're going to start doing a regular segment where we talk about and share things that we are currently obsessed with, because you and I get onto things and we get obsessed with them, which is a good thing. We're passionate about them. So, what's one thing that you're obsessed with right now, Rachel Bird?
I have two.
Okay.
So I have the earrings. I always wear a Mickey hoop. Always. I'm kind of known. I don't realize it, but I always typically have a Mickey hoop on. These are from a company called Bauble Bar, and Bauble Bar has really big earrings, but these hoops are a Bauble. I think this is actually a Pride collection because I look how pretty I'm an ally, and I'm excited to be an ally. But it's just a Mickey hoop, and they're by Bauble Bar. They have the cutest different things. This actually has little jewels along the outside, so when you see it, that's why it's the Pride, because it's like
It's a
colorful
rainbow.
and really pretty. It's I think it's a rainbow of jewels, but you can buy them at Disneyland. You can go to baublebar.com, or you can go to TJ Maxx, and TJ Maxx has everything. These were $12.99, and they had a bunch of Halloween stuff already. I got a Bauble Bar Halloween necklace that's a Mickey with little stuff. I got Bauble Bar earrings that were Mickey pumpkins. I got another pair of Bauble Bar thing. I got a lot of little ones, but I love their jewelry. And it's all the cute Disney stuff. They have cute non-Disney, but I don't look at that because, it's me. And, but I love it. And then so I'm a big girl. It's hard for me it's funny, when I went to go see the Barbie movie, I had sparkly shoes on and I was all in pink and pink lipstick on and pink makeup on. I still have my pink nails that I did, but I was never a pink person. I wore black and dark colors because I wanted to hide into the crowd. And when I got divorced, I said, guess what? I'm going to glitter. I'm going to pixie dust. I'm going to shine. And I'm going to wear all the colors, and people can see me and look at me. And am I still shy? And people go, you're not shy. I am. I'm shy when it comes to myself. I'm shy when it comes to me. But I have started wearing dresses and started trying to be like someone said, oh my gosh, I love all your pink and your glittery shoes. And I said, you know what? When I was married, I didn't shine, and now I shine all over. I leave a layer of glitter or pixie dust everywhere I am. The glittery, the better. And I started, for big girls, size 10 to 30, there's a clothing line called Bloom Chic, BLOOMCHIC. And they have dresses, and they have shirts and pants and shorts, but a lot of bathing suits. That's the bathing suits I wear, and everything. I don't think I've ever paid more than $35 for something, which today, for a dress and stuff. The other thing that I love that they do is they have people on Instagram or Facebook that are people like me that say, here's my Bloom Chic haul, and this is what it looks on me. And they'll put like 5 of the dresses they purchase. So I can see them not on the body of the model. And some of their models are bigger models, but like, I love being able to see them on the people that are everyday people. It's not like influencers. It's just like, this is what I got today, and this is what I'm wearing. And I'm like, oh, that's really cute. And she looks like me, and her body looks like me. I think I want to order that. So I've actually ordered stuff, and I always order things in a size bigger than I am. And I just had to send 4 dresses and a bathing suit back because they were too big, which I was like, I don't know what to do with my life when something's too big on me. I've never had that problem. And so it's kind of nice. I wore one of the dresses to the theater, and I got compliments walking around. People said, oh, that dress is gorgeous. And I was like, thank you. It was $32. Actually, it was like $28 on Bloom Chic. So I love their clothes, and I love the way I feel in them. And I love now that I'm leaving a trail of glitter when I walk away.
I love that. You got to say the name again and spell it for me, because you said the name and then you spelled it and they were different in my head. But go slow.
Oh, Bloom, like BLOOM,
Okay.
like a flower's blooming, and Chic. It's CHIC. I don't know if it's CHICK. Bloom Chic.
Okay. So CHIC or
C,
CK?
maybe with a K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to check it out. I find
and it's really cute.
I order all the wrong things from all the wrong site, and I I have taken to looking at what the measurements are, because I will go, oh well, I know what size I wear, I'm going to order that, and I will discover that I need to order 6 sizes bigger because
Yeah.
it's
Right.
Asian sizing,
Yeah.
and
Right.
and I can't fit my left arm into it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, because it depends on what country it's coming from and what the size.
It
So
does. It does.
yes.
What are favorite things of yours, or what's a favorite thing that you're
There
obsessed
are
with right now?
so many things that I am obsessed with right now, but I mentioned to you today that I want to get one of those infinity, what do they call them?
Infinity hoops.
Infinity
Infinity
hoop.
hoop.
That
Yes.
that you have the weighted ball and you put on the belt and you try to make it go around. I want to try the infinity hoop.
Yes.
I'm a little bit obsessed with that right now, and there's like 8 things that I'm obsessed with. I'll tell you, I've gone down a rabbit hole. I've always loved Star Trek: The Next Generation. Have always been a big fan of that. Every time that it was on when it was first coming out, it was an event in my life, and I was in love with Patrick Stewart, and Patrick Stewart came and lectured and taught at my graduate school, because I said to the guy who was running the program, I knew he was friends with him. They had done theater together in London, and the guy's name was Tony Church. And I said one day to Tony, I said, "Why are you not bringing Patrick Stewart here to teach us?" And he said, "Oh, would you like that? Is that a thing? I mean, I can call Patrick and Patrick can be here next week." And I was like, "Tony, what are you doing? Get Patrick." And so Patrick came and lectured and did his one-man
That's
show of
amazing.
Merchant of Venice. It was absolutely amazing, and I got to meet him, which was the thrill of a lifetime. And when Picard came out, people were calling me from around the country saying, "Have you heard? They made the announcement. Patrick Stewart is coming back and he's going to do Picard." And I signed up. It was not Paramount then. It was like CBS, whatever. And I signed up and I was like, I'm paying for that. If we have to get rid of Netflix, I'm getting that. And then we watched the first episode, and I cannot tell you what it was that was going on in our lives right then. It might have been when my mother passed away, but something was going on so that I watched the first episode and then it went completely out of my brain until like 2 weeks ago when I went, they're in season 3 of that, and I have not watched more than the first episode, and I don't remember the first episode. And I've been obsessed. And now I'm into the most recent episode where it's called Next Generation, and it's all the people from Next Generation, and I'm literally fangirling out and losing my mind. I
I
was a
love that.
hardcore trekker, and then I dropped the ball apparently and went into a coma, but now I am obsessed with all things uh Star Trek Next Generation.
I
Which
love
means
that.
I need to start watching the new Star Trek, which I have not even seen an episode of. And it's almost like, who are you? What happened to Shannon? Shannon would have been into this. But you know how life kind of gets in the way and you
Yeah,
forget a piece of yourself?
I do. And then you go back and you're like, oh, I love that. Why have I been doing that? What's
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes, I'm all about that. But you know what else I'm all about right now? And when you get back, you have to come over to my garden, because I have a bunch of tomatoes in my garden. But I also planted this year um, long beans.
Oh,
So
right.
because I'd had in previous years, I planted like 3 different kinds of beans, but the one that really took off were these purple. I think they're called Blauhaus beans, and these are all heirloom organic seeds, and I grow them from the seeds. But I had so many purple green beans, and I pickled them, and I got to the point where I was like, I could not look at another purple green bean. And I also didn't like the fact that when you cooked the purple green beans, they changed into green. So
The green. That's so funny. Yeah.
what's the
Why?
purpose of having a purple green
Yeah.
bean if it changes to green? Well, then the place that I get my seeds from, which is the Baker seed catalog, that it's like I get the seed catalog like on the 2nd of January, and I drool all over it until I order the seeds, because it just has pictures of all these different vegetables that people can grow, and I geek out on that. But they had, and I remember I used to go to the farmers market, and they would get those yard long green beans. Have you seen them, Rachel?
I have.
And I used to love them. And I thought, well, I'm going to grow some of that. And I forget to pick my green beans sometimes. And when they get long, when they're the regular green beans, they get tough. And these are supposed to get long. So I went, I'm going to plant them. And they just took forever to take off. It was so cold in the spring. And, it just took forever for these green beans to grow. But now it's green bean palooza at my house. And it's so weird because they're super long, and I planted a green version and a purple version, and guess what? The purple ones
Do they
don't
stay
change.
purple when you cook?
They stay purple when you cook them.
Yay!
And but literally I have to pick some every day, and I will look and go, are there any even, this long? I'll pick them if they're this long because they're tender, tender, tender. And I picked green beans last night at 7:00 at night and cooked them up. And then I went out this morning and I've got green beans this long. I
No
want to put a
way.
camera on them to see how fast they grow and why.
They grow.
Anyway, so
Wait, but I need to know how the tomatoes are going because when I get back, if you have tomatoes, I want to do fried green tomatoes, or even if it's something that I could cook and make for the show with the stuff that you've grown. Why don't we do that?
Absolutely. I've got lots of tomatoes. Something happened. I don't know what. I don't know whether plants or seeds were mislabeled, but I have one plant that's the most prolific that was my volunteer from last year. That if you don't pick up a tomato and it ends up laying on the ground, there's the possibility that you will grow a tomato plant there the next year, and you can't kill them. Like you can beat the holy heck out of that plant. You cannot kill them. So my volunteer tomato plant that just popped up in amongst the green beans where it should not be growing is ginormous and crazy and has lots of, I didn't know which tomato plant it was, but they're really beautiful, ripe red. They're cherry tomatoes, but they're a little bit bigger than a cherry tomato, but cherry tomatoes. I planted what they call a mortgage lifter, which are supposed to be the big, big tomatoes. And it either died or I got the wrong plant. I know that I planted one that it's supposed to be a lemon yellow, but somehow I have oods and scads of lemon tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, and I don't
Those
have.
are my favorite. I think I told you those are what I wanted. Those are my favorite.
Well, I've got bunches of those. I've got on one plant now, I'm starting to have big ones, but they're still very green, so I don't know what's going to happen. And then I have another.
But I want those green ones. If you don't want, if there's green, because remember last year I came and I harvested and I made Coby that his first fried green tomato sandwich with like a bacon, and he was like, now because that's my favorite thing, a fried green tomato, and he was like, Mom, that's the best thing ever.
Well,
I mean, it keeps asking like, Shannon, does she have green tomatoes yet?
Yes, I do, but you need to come over and get them before they all turn red. And I'm leaving for a few days, so I think you're in town when I'm leaving, and I was like, I got to ask Rachael to come and pick tomatoes while I'm gone because
I'll come harvest.
It's so hot right now here that a lot of the tomatoes split. And I can still use them to cook with. I don't like to use them in salad because I worry about what they've been exposed to and whatever. But yes, so I need somebody to come over and pick tomatoes. But so
I use the split ones when I make pasta sauce.
Exactly. Well, what I did was I took the green beans. I'm out of onions right now. I need to go to the store and get onions. But I took the green beans because, it's like a handful of these long green beans. And I wrapped them around inside the pot and put like a 1/4 cup of water. And I put the split tomatoes in, and I chopped up some cabbage and put it in it. And I threw some Cajun, no oil. And I threw some Cajun spice that I have that I get at Thrive Market that's gluten-free and fabulous. And I just kind of boiled it for 5 minutes. It was like this Cajun roux, tomatoey, green bean, tender cabbage, and no fat whatsoever.
Yummy.
It was to die for last night. So I'm obsessed with my green beans right now, and I have more to pick tonight when I go home. But the other thing that's growing, I have a bunch of spaghetti squashes, and they're in different stages. Some are
I
probably
can't
ready to be
wait.
picked, but
I talk about I'm like, I can't wait to harvest in your
no,
yard,
I
Shannon.
want you to come and harvest, and because I'm not that good at that. But the other thing that I did the kobasha, is that right? Am I saying it right? The kobashi squash. They're
Kombucha.
dark green. You cut them open and they are bright orange on the inside, and they are the best thing ever. They're now my favorite type of squash. I can't find any seeds or plants for them. So when I would get the organic ones, a couple of them I kept and I scooped the seeds out, put them in the refrigerator for weeks, and then I wrapped up in paper towels. And then I just took it all and shook it into a hole and said, what will be, will be. And I have kobasha squashes growing all over my yard.
Yay!
Which
Those are
is
your favorite.
I know. And then on the squash arch, there's spaghetti squashes hanging, but I have volunteer spaghetti squashes that have grown into the tomatoes and the green beans. It's crazy.
I need to just come see. Maybe I'll come by this weekend on
Yes,
Sunday and look.
absolutely.
I want
Yes,
to come see.
I'm here until next Wednesday. So yes, you should come over and you should see. And I'm at the point where there's more tomatoes than I can. Even if I ate them every day, there's more tomatoes than I can deal with. And
I'll
there's
come get
tons
them
of
all.
green. But a lot of the green are the little ones. And there aren't as many of the big ones, but there are big green ones.
The greens are fun. You can fry green tomatoes that are tiny too.
Okay, well
or just eat them.
Believe me, there's a ton of those. The plants down at the end have had a really hard time. I've had an infestation of whatever I think they're called spider mites, that they're really tiny, tiny little microscopic bugs, but they weave webs, and I have to go in and take the webs down, and it really makes the plants struggle. But they're still managing to output. It's not that there's no tomatoes on that end. They're just struggling. And I have a pepper plant down there and an eggplant plant and a series of potato plants. They're all struggling. And the corn came and it suffered so badly in the heat that it's decorational corn. There might be an ear or two of corn that you can pick. I've been saving it for you.
My favorite,
but I think it's dried out. I just haven't.
Okay. I just love seeing that you were growing corn. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, well, and I'm also growing Long Island cheese pumpkins, and the plants are struggling, but they're there. And there's one in particular that I just don't have a pumpkin yet. I'm waiting to see. Those are also, if you guys can get Long Island cheese pumpkins look like the fairy tale pumpkins, but they're edible.
Right.
Fairy tale pumpkins aren't edible, but these are edible. And what I like to do every fall is get one of them and I scoop the whole thing out, all the seeds and everything out, and I make like a Swiss chard soup that I put into it and bake the whole thing in the oven. It's the best.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. There was a restaurant that we used to go to, you remember, where they would do the stuffing inside the pumpkin? That was awesome. They don't do that anymore.
Because vegetables not there anymore. Now they're a burger restaurant.
It's the same guy, but he changed to a burger restaurant, and he won't change back. We've seen that he's a little bit inflexible. It's a place where you can get all this gluten-free stuff, you guys. And I think you were the one who found it, Rachel, and it was so good.
I was.
And they would make this charcuterie board of breads that were all gluten-free. It was just
and vegan cheeses.
Oh, I mean, stop. It was so good.
To die for. But
we went one time with another friend, and they had a salad and it had some kind of dressing. And I said, can I get the salad? But I always say, can I get the dressing on the side? Because I like to.
And the server looked at you and said, chef doesn't take suggestions. And you said, no, I can't have the dressing. And they said, chef doesn't take suggestions.
Yeah.
There was two other people in the restaurant. And she was like, see on the bottom, it says no changes to anything. And she goes, and you said, I just can't have the dressing. And she said, okay, then you'll have to order something else. And we were like,
it was weird. It was this restaurant where everything is catered to people with dietary restrictions.
And there were two other people in the restaurant. She said, well, chef doesn't take suggestions because, the restaurant gets so busy. And you were like, just don't put the dressing
Just
on.
like, it's that whole, the egg salad with Jack Nicholson, so can I just get the toast and the egg salad? No. can I get an toasted egg salad sandwich? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So give me the egg salad and take the toast and stick it between your knees. It's that kind of thing.
Yep. That kind of.
But I didn't fare any better than Jack Nicholson did. But so that's what I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with my garden right now. And I'm also obsessed with, I'm taking my son and whisking him away on a vacation that we're going to be talking about more in the coming weeks. But he has been saying for a while that he was like, I want to go to Vegas because I want to go to this Meow Wolf thing. Has Coby talked about this at all? Does he know what Meow Wolf? I didn't know what
He
Meow.
probably does. He probably does.
I didn't. I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. But then, so I made arrangements for us to go to Vegas, and I started looking at the Meow Wolf site. And I said to James, I said, "Oh, is this going to be one of those things? Because you know me, I have sensory issues. Am I going to get car sick in this attraction?" And he was like, "I don't think so. Let me look around and poke around on the website." And he came back and said to me, "Hey, as of June 8th, because they have these Meow Wolf sites in many different places. They have one that's opening up in Texas. They have one in Denver. They have one in, I think it's San Jose, California. They have the one in Las Vegas, and the original one that's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And all of them are now autism certified, that the sites are autism certified, and the entire staff are autism certified. They are the only Class B, I want to get this right, Class B entertainment organization that is, the entire organization is autism certified. So, and you can request when you go in that they have baggies that you can get if you're sensory sensitive. Because I know when we went to see the Van Gogh exhibit, I was the one who had a problem, not my son. I was on the floor in a fetal position with he gave me his hoodie. I had earplugs in. I was like this in a corner. And seriously, I'm not speaking hyperbolically. I was rocking because it was too much for me. And they had to take me upstairs, and I did put on my sunglasses, and there was a place where you could watch where it was infinitely less movement and less flashing lights and less sound. And that's where I sat and watched it. It was beautiful, but I couldn't experience it down on the floor with everybody else. Like the floor was moving and I was ill and uncomfortable. So I was worried, am I going to be able to handle it? But they give you earphones and sunglasses and, things if you ask for them. So, and I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole looking at what this place does. And each site is a different thing, but at the one that we're going to, it's called the Omega Mart. And we're asking them if we can film from there, but you go into this sort of crazy, grocery store. And there's something not quite right about the grocery store. And then you go into one of the places where it's a cold where they would keep the beer and soda, and you walk in and you're in another world. You're behind the grocery store, and it's like amazing how they took in New Mexico. They took a group of artists and said, if there were no boundaries, what would you do? And that's what they're doing at these Meow Wolf places. So I'm a little obsessed with that too. And more on that. And hopefully they'll get back to us and tell us that we can film there so that I can bring you guys, if nothing else, I'll bring back pictures for you guys to see. But I'm hoping that one will open in Los Angeles too, because it's super cool.
That's so cool.
Super duper cool. Okay. So, but we're at the end of the program here where it is time. And it's Kanani's rainbow. Am I right?
Correct.
Kanani. So we want to put Kanani's rainbow up, and we want to talk about what are you thankful for? I'd love it if you would lead us in that.
Well, first, I'm thankful for the people of Maui, because right now they are going through some pretty devastating fires on the West End, and there are people still missing. There's been losses of so many structures, and there are people that, yes, that's a tourist town, but there are local people and Native Hawaiians who live there, and they are in devastation. So just want to say I'm thankful for Maui, and if we can say a prayer or pixie dust or whatever it is that you believe, please say that for the people of Maui, because it's really rough. And they're also saying that if you have plans to go to Lahaina or to Maui in the next 6 to 8 weeks, to cancel, because anything that they have, all these loss of structures and homes, and they're asking for people to let the local people have places to stay rather than tourists come in. So that just came out today. But what I'm thankful for is I kind of want to make it really, what I'm thankful for right now is that every night we're staying down here at my mom's, and we're about a half a mile from the beach. And every night at sunset, I go down and I put my toes in the water and I watch the sunset. And so I'm super thankful for getting to be here and put my toes in the water and see the sunset every day, because it is something that grounds me. I'm grounding too. That's something that I've started doing every day, as I make sure that my feet touch the real earth, and my bare feet touch the real earth. And I just feel the connection with the ocean, and it makes me feel happy and joyful. And I'm super thankful for sunsets.
Amazing.
What are you thankful for, Shannon?
I'm thankful for so many things. I'm really thankful that I'm getting to take this trip with my son. And that it started out, we were just going to do one or two things, but it's ending up being a little bit more epic than I planned on it being. But I'm excited about the fact that I'm sorry that my husband doesn't get to go with us because he's doing a play, but I'm excited about the fact that my son and I are going to go and do this. And that one of the things that we're doing is we're going to Arches National Park in Utah, because I was reminded that I had this whole plan. He had just turned 16 when we went into lockdown, and I had this plan for that summer that we were going to go look at colleges, and that we were going to take this trip, and that I for sure wanted to make absolutely positive that I took him to see something that was awe-inspiring, something that some bit of nature that you could stand there and that there would be no doubt in your mind that there's something bigger in this world than us. That was my plan. And then we were in lockdown and we really couldn't go places, and we're just starting to go places now. So, we're going to see the meow wolf that he really wanted to see in Vegas, but then I'm taking him to Arches National Park, where I've never been before, but I used to live in Utah, and every time you go around a corner from something, there's something that you look at and you go, for me anyway, it's just evidence that it's not just about us. That there's something bigger, and whether that's a spiritual thing for you or something else, but just this sense that something is bigger. So I'm so grateful that I'm married to who I'm married to, that he was like, no, you need to go do this, and I can't go, but you go. We also have a sick dog, and so he's staying home and doing his play and taking care of the sick dog. But I'm grateful that I have the time and the ability to go do that. And the other thing that I'm really grateful for, that I have to say, I'm super grateful for Dr. Graham Pichet. And I'm excited right now because you guys know we've talked about on other shows of ours that she is about to once again be the owner of Card, and Card's a very emotional thing for me. And as she is, preparing to come back to the helm, I've been able to reconnect with a bunch of people who were so instrumental in our lives and what our lives became and the direction that our lives took. And it has reminded me of how many people's arms we are all in on a regular basis. We feel like we're alone. We feel like we're having this, I'm crying because it's so emotional to me, but we feel like we're in it alone. And I had a dream many years ago about the fact that we are always in lots of people's arms. And I forget it all the time. How many people love you that aren't there saying it to your face right now, and how many people you love that you haven't laid eyes on before. So I'm incredibly grateful for the amazing people, and you included in that, Rachel, that and Traven included that, and Dr. Graham Pichet, who led so much of that, and so many other people that have enriched our lives and made our journey first through autism, but then, doing a show about autism. It's just an amazing ride, and I'm very grateful for it. So there.
I love that.
Are you there?
I'm also grateful for my whole family. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Yes. You're grateful for your whole family?
Yep, that's how we always got to end it.
Okay.
Because you guys are all our family.
Wonderful. Well, I always enjoy spending time with you no matter what. And I think it's sort of lovely to let other people in so that they can hear the kinds of things we talk about. Hope we're not boring them to death, but certainly your recipes aren't. So maybe my garden is, but we'll hear from everybody. We hope you guys enjoyed this and that you'll write to us and tell us what kinds of things you want us to talk about or what you're obsessed with that we should be trying. I sort of want to I want to see if next time maybe if I have my infinity ring, I think that we should infinity ring, but I don't
Infinity
know.
hoop. Yes.
Is that what it's called? Infinity hoop?
Infinity
Okay.
hoop.
And hopefully I'll have pictures of Meow Wolf to talk about.
Yay! I
And
can't
we
wait to
still
see.
need to go to where to the Titanic with a certain person. We have to do that. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Love you and give my love to everybody there, to your whole family.
Love you.
And I'll see you this weekend. All right. Take care.
Yay! Thank you everybody for watching.
And check out Little Kitchen, Big Flavor. Right?
Nope. Small Kitchen, Big Flavor.
How many years will it take before I can get that? Small Kitchen, Big Flavor.
You'll get it.
All right. No, yes. I don't know. It's like I got a mental block. Small Kitchen, Big Flavor. There we go. All right.
Yes.
We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.